Hi, my name is Burk. I am the Internet Content Director here at 7 News. A lot of time and effort goes into the making of the 2-minute stories viewers see every day on 7 News. As the person in charge of the online content here, I am working to develop new ideas to bring what we do to life. My first idea was to take a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into the making of the stories which go on air each and every night. Here's my first journey out with Caroline Kimbrell as she put together her story highlighting a young cancer patient in Duncan and what the community is doing to assist him and his family. When reporters come into the station around 10, sometimes they have a story in mind and sometimes they don't. On Tuesday, Caroline did have one in mind. She had received an email about a poker run which was scheduled to happen this weekend to help a 12-year-old cancer patient in Duncan named Dalton Sanders. From that point, Caroline had to start making calls in an attempt to find some people to talk to about the event. Her first call was to the lady who was putting on the event just to gather some background information and to ask for contact info for the family. The lady tells her she will contact the family and see if they will be able to talk to her today. Now we wait for her to call back. While we wait, I realize I have a problem. No battery for my mic. So Caroline's photographer, Travis, takes us to a local store for me to get a battery for the story. As we drive, Caroline receives a call from the poker run organizer. Caroline then calls the family and schedules the interview for 2 p.m. in Duncan. That is about as late as she can do that interview because she has to have time to come back, write, and edit the story before she goes on the air at 6. We now have over 2 hours to kill before we have to be in Duncan for the interview. Since it's lunchtime, we go grab a bite to eat.
Big old bite.
Because the poker run will begin here in Lawton at the local Harley-Davidson store, we stop by to grab some B-roll to use in the package. While Travis and I stand out in the heat getting video, Caroline starts preparing questions to ask the family inside the air-conditioned car. After a quick stop at the station, we head to Duncan. The drive to a story can sometimes be boring, so reporters and photographers have to find a way to stay entertained. When we arrive for the interview, we go inside the family's home and meet everyone we will be talking to for the first time. Travis sets up the camera and mic while Caroline asks some questions for background and to help calm the nerves of the interviewees. Once everything is set up and ready to go, the interview begins. As you could expect, the story gets emotional for both Dalton and his mother Valerie. When the interview ends, Travis has to grab some footage to be used in the story. Caroline and Travis talk about what the best video would be to go along with the sound bites and stories she was given. Then, it's time to head back to the station. When we arrive back at the station, it is around 3:30, which gives Caroline about 2.5 hours to write her story, get it approved, and then edit all of the bites and footage together to complete the story. The 6 p.m. producer decides to go live from the place where the poker run will begin. After a full day, Caroline is finally done and ready to go on air and tell Dalton's story.
1 week from Saturday, motorcycles will rev their engines for a poker run that begins at Lawton Pro Team Harley-Davidson to give the Sanders family the support they need as their son battles leukemia. 7 News reporter Caroline Kimbrell joins us live from the site of next week's fundraiser with more on the little boy they're helping. Caroline.
12-year-old Dalton Sanders was diagnosed with leukemia less than 2 months ago. Him and his family have traveled to Oklahoma City for chemotherapy and his treatments, leaving a huge financial burden on him and his family.
Really difficult. It hurts, and it just, I really don't know. It just makes me feel really bad.
Life for the past 2 months have been anything but easy for 12-year-old Dalton Sanders. He said he first noticed something was wrong when all he wanted to do was sleep, something that was unusual for the normally active boy.
Just I lost all energy and my eyes started turning yellow in my skin, and I was falling asleep in class.
When those symptoms got worse, Dalton went to the ER. It was there they told him he had leukemia.
They told me what it was. I really didn't think much of it. I didn't want to hear anything about it. I didn't want to hear anything they had to say.
Since the diagnosis, Dalton travels to Oklahoma City as often as 4 times a week, depending on his treatment schedule. With the cost of gas these days, his mother Valerie says those trips can cost as much as $400 a week, and not to mention the toll it takes on the family.
It's hard knowing that a 12-year-old has to go through this, and it has put the family in so much heartache.
Dalton says the hardest part of this journey so far is losing his hair and muscle tone. He, like any other 7th grader, wants to feel like he fits in, but says he's not giving up hope.
I want to do stuff by myself. I can barely get off our couch by myself. And I wish I could, but it's just hard on me. And I don't like it.
His doctors say he'll probably need 3 more years of treatment, leaving a long road ahead of Dalton and his family. Now, if you'd like to help Dalton out in his poker run, you can sign up here at the Lawton Harley-Davidson. Again, that run will be on August 28th. The cost will be $10, and bikers will go through Duncan, Elgin, Rush Springs, and end up back in Lawton at the VFW Center at 21st Street, North 21st Street. Reporting live from the Lawton Harley-Davidson Center, I'm Caroline Kimbrell.
Thanks, Caroline. And for more information on the ride, you can visit the Lawton Harley-Davidson. Just ask about the benefit poker run for Dalton Sanders.